On this episode of DockSide TV, we're going to be fishing out of one of the busiest marinas in the entire country. Stay tuned for this adventure of DockSide TV. Well, after a 3-hour drive of being on the interstate for quite some time, we saw that we weren't going to have time to make it all the way to Destin and still make an afternoon fish on the very first day there. So what we decided to do was stop short. We launched in the Santa Rosa Sound. Now we must have launched right next to some sort of Air Force base, as big planes and some fighter jets were flying over us pretty much the whole afternoon. And now when we were running down the Sound, trying to pick out just what area we wanted to stop and start fishing, we just simply used our phones to look for an area that looked very promising, and we noticed that most of the area in the Sound was very marshy and Louisiana-like.
Alright y'all, we're out here in the Destin area. So we just pulled up, getting a couple blow-ups on the top water. That's what we come here, of course, for. We got on this little sand flat, and I told Chaz we just started seeing some just objects. Chaz seen a redfish a little while before then. I threw at him and wanted nothing to do with me. I just seen a school, like 3 of them, probably 75 to 100 feet or so. Threw way out in front of him, and jigged it 2 or 3 times, and he jumped on it. Nice little 24-inch red or so. So we're out here, you know, no sunglasses, standing up high on the platform just to see a little bit better. And you can see in the camera, it's probably hard for you to see. It's dark. It's freaking pitch black out here. And we're just seeing these, they kind of look like shadows because it's so dark you can't really tell. And still sight fishing, so we're gonna keep on trying for it. No sunglasses required in Florida. Clean water like this, you just come out here with your polarized eyes and you see perfectly.
Well, on day 2, we got up at the crack of dawn and got a very early start. We were blessed with a beautiful sunrise to start the morning and slick, calm conditions. Our objective of getting up so early was to throw top water all morning until the sun got up. We got multiple strikes on the Matrix mullet, which was what we were throwing, and the bites out there are pretty ferocious, and that's the best way for you to get a really trophy trout in the Florida area, is throwing top water early. Now, as the sun came up, we made sure to get up on the sand flats and grass flats closer to the bank, shallow, as you get to see everything swimming around. We even see flounder swimming on the banks because the water is so crystal clear in this region. The best part about sight fishing, once you get the sun to come up a little and you can see into the water, is not only can you sight fish redfish in Florida, you can even sight fish speckled trout, and that makes it very exciting.
He ate it.
Missed him. That's a trout, huh?
Yeah. That's a speckled trout, buddy. Guaranteed. He ate it too. That is a speckled trout.
Speckled trout. He's freaking 5-6 pounds.
He ate it too, didn't he?
Yeah, I saw his mouth open. All right, we're out here on this beautiful grass flat. Decent little red there. Seeing a couple of them. Sun's just getting up. We threw top water this morning. Not too many. A couple blow-ups. Just trying to figure out where they're at. Think we've seen a couple trout so far. We've definitely seen a couple of these guys. What I did is I saw 2 redfish floating. Threw at one of them. The bigger one kind of ran away, but he don't know much better, so he jumped on it pretty good. So sun's up. We're gonna see what we can do. Y'all, we got matrix tag number 18698 going into this fish right here. Pop a little scale out of him. If you're fishing around the Destin area, catch that fish, call it in, win a prize.
Threw my matrix shad off because I done caught about 6 or 7 in a row. Right now what we're doing is we're weeding through the throwbacks. You can see on the shoreline right there behind us. That's where we started off. Throwing top water early, had a few blow-ups, never could get on a rhythm. Now we came out to the deeper part. We're trying to focus on anywhere from 4 to 7 foot of water. You can see the grass because the water's so clean here. And we're just trying to stay on that grass's edge.
All right, well, we're throwing top water this morning on all the grass beds and the banks up here. The sun got up on us, so we're probably a good ways off of this one bank, about 4 or 5 feet of water. And just doing what we do best, jigging a matrix shad, catching some decent speckled trout. Not a bad one. Old shrimp creole, old faithful on them. 1/4 ounce jig head. Look how pretty that trout is, that gold back on them. No scars, no nothing. Nice to catch a pretty trout like that. We don't get them like that too often back home.
Well, now the sun's almost at high noon, so we've got completely off the flats. Decided to go jig deep. We're fishing the Brooks Bridge now. This is an area we've caught some really nice fish before. Ty just ran into a nice flounder. That's a pretty good bluefish right here. We'll go ahead and let him go. When I was railing that one in, there was 4 or 5 more behind him, so let's see if we can get on a few more. They got sharp teeth. Look at that. Look at that poor matrix shad. Well, as Captain Ty and I were discussing our fishing plans for day 3 the night before, we were greeted with a fantastic fireworks display right over the harbor in Destin. When we woke up the next morning, again, we had slick, calm conditions, and we had one thing on our mind. That was to get out to the Gulf of Mexico, come out of Destin Pass, which is very crowded and pretty entertaining and exciting. Get out in that slick, calm water and look for bonita running, as we heard that they were all over the place. Well, while we were chasing down the bonita, we had plenty of things distract us along the way. We had about an 8-foot hammerhead shark come up on the boat, and Ty made several casts at it, trying to get its attention. We hooked into a small cobia on a matrix shad, jigging the bottom, way out in the Gulf. And one of the coolest things, we found a little reef, an artificial reef on our GPS, and we bumped into several reef fish, including some really nice red snapper jigging a matrix shad in 60 foot of water. All right, guys, today we left the bay alone and came out to the big water. We just got our trout rods. Well, Ty's got some big stuff, which we'll get into if need be, but I'm just doing what we always do, jigging a matrix shad. I'm trying to get it down in 60 foot of water. I hooked something really big earlier. It pulled me into something on the bottom. Now I hooked this. It looks like I'm gonna land it. I have no idea what it is. We're about to see it, it looks like. Could be a trash fish, could be something cool, who knows. But either way, it just shows the matrix shad's versatility. To be able to just come in 60 foot.
Red snapper.
It's a snapper. Check that out. Look at my line with the fray on it above. So we're definitely on some kind of structure here. And does it get any cooler than that, guys? Well, as you can see, that's a beautiful red snapper. That's one of my favorite things about coming out to Florida. We either like catching those big trout on top water early or fishing deep water reefs and wrecks and catching who knows what. Just got broke off before, probably guessing maybe a bigger red snapper. He brought me into the reef. This one, I was able to elevate him. Again, that's 12-pound fluoro on a half-ounce matrix golden eye jig head with a glow matrix shad. I mean, that's incredible, showing the versatility, and we're in 60 foot of water. Go ahead and let this guy go.
All right, y'all, we got a little red snapper we just caught here, jigging a matrix shad. This is tag number 18636. Going into him right here. Catch this guy out of Destin. Give us a call. Get your matrix shad prize package. This guy seems like he's ready to rock. Let's get him back in. Oh man, such a cool fish. It's amazing how a cool fish is that color. Oh, there he goes. Came out here looking for some bonita on the beach this morning, and of course we did a little jigging and hooked this thing. Looks like a remora, but there's no sucker head on the top, so I'm gonna go ahead and call it a cobia. Not completely sure, but oh, look at the spines on his back. Let's see if we can get a good shot of that real quick. I'm gonna try to put him up here. Hopefully it doesn't break everything in the boat. If we can't handle this little cobia, I don't know what we'd do with a big one. He's not putting his spines back up. See, they got them spines right on the back right there, and they'll come out of the top of his back. I guess when he gets pissed off, but that's pretty cool right there. Never know what you're gonna catch when you drop that matrix shad down deep out here. That's why we come out here. Won't catch that in Lake Pontchartrain. There he is. Coming up, coming up. Oh, going back down. That's a good one there. Yes, indeed. All right, well, we can't figure out these bonita all morning. You see them just going nuts out here. I grabbed about the smallest fly I could possibly think of, put it on with some real light line, and he's whooping my ass right now. Oh, don't do that, bonita. I don't have that much line. I watched him come up and just swallow it. There's my flat line. We're coming back. Oh, no we're not. Whew. Back on the fly line. Right here. Get the net ready?
No,
Not yet, but there he is. There we go. All right, y'all. Just caught this nice little bonita on the fly rod. Pretty awesome. We got tag number 18614 going into them. I'm gonna hurry up and just stick them and get them right back. These guys don't seem to live too well out the water. All right. Well, he was ready to rock. See if we get another one. All right, y'all, so we're out here, just tagged that one. If you look over here, we're gonna have tons of video for you, but the bonita are just going ballistic, you know, what everybody would call like a blitz. They're eating little tiny minnows, so we're throwing matrix minis actually. They wouldn't really hit the big one. They fall, it wouldn't eat it. I just found one of the smallest like perch flies I could imagine. I threw into him, immediately started getting some hookups. Chaz put on a mini, he started getting a couple hookups, so we're gonna get in there and try to catch another one real quick.
Well, would you look at this? We got another species to add to the matrix. Plethora of catches it's made in its history. I personally have no idea what this is, but my biologist, Ty, says that it's called a squirrel fish. Oh yeah, let me go. All right, back out to sea, Mr. Squirrel Fish.
So after a morning full of chasing around those pelagics, you know, caught some bonita, caught some snapper, caught some cobia, squirrel fish, just tons of things out there on the Gulf to catch in Florida. It's pretty awesome. We don't get to do stuff like that around here that much. But we finished it off, you know, afternoon the flats, over the grass mats, throwing a matrix mullet, do what we do best in Florida, and it yielded a couple nice fish. We didn't catch a million by any means, but we caught some good ones. Chaz ended the day on a really nice trout, about 21, 22 inch or so. It's hard to beat that, you know. It's what we love to do. When you get an explosion from a speckled trout like that, you can't beat it. We don't get that too often around Lake Pontchartrain area anymore like we used to in the summer, but still nice to go see a different estuary, to go see some white sand, some beautiful, you know, eel grass, turtle grass and all. So we enjoyed it, but for now it's back to flatboats in Martians, Louisiana. So be looking out for some redfish videos, and until next time, hopefully see you in Florida soon with some matrix mullets.
Alright, in the Choctawhatchee Bay here, we're seeing a lot of redfish. Obviously they're a lot harder than the ones that we fish for back home in Louisiana. But what we're finding is when we get on the sandier banks, the ones that don't have quite as much grass, you know, it's nice to have a little bit of grass, but you can really see them pretty good on the sandier banks. And of course you want the sun at your back, get up high, and you want to try not to use the trolling motor as much as you can and try to drift with the wind, because the fish are really smart. But we are picking some off, sight fishing them like we do back home. There's a nice little trout right there on the glow matrix shad. Got him on a 5/16 golden eye. A male trout, he's grunting. Let's see if you can hear him. A little grunt. We'll take these. This is fun to catch. He's close to a keeper. I'm just gonna let him go anyway though. They gotta be 15 inches down here. Go ahead and let this one go. And what I did right here, we were coming down a sand flat, sight fishing reds, and got to this one particular dock, and I could see that the water went from like a light colored, which, you know, I could see the bottom real easy, 2 foot of water, to all of a sudden it was dark. And usually it's one of two things when that happens. It's a real big grass patch or it's a hole. And this dock, it's got a real deep hole off of it, and it's a pretty big hole. And that's the key to speckled trout, is either finding grass or depth changes off of these shallower flats. Little red. When you find deeper docks out here, if it's like the one dock that's got a little depth on it, it's gonna have fish. You know, you'll go down a shoreline and every dock's sitting in 2 foot of water, and then you get to one that might be in 7, 8, 10 foot of water, it's going to have fish. And the coolest thing about Florida is you don't know what kind of species it's gonna be. All right, well, we just came down this shoreline for a good 20 minutes. It was solid sand. Saw one little red, that was it, not much happening. Came to one grass patch, started blind casting, and voila, that's what you get. Find the grass, find the trout, find sand and patchy grass, find the reds. And we don't know the area at all. If we can catch a few on plastic down here, off the Choctawhatchee Bay, anybody can, especially people that live around here. So check out our matrix shads, see if you can catch a few on them. Well, after catching a few fish on the matrix shad by simply jigging it on the bottom and fishing some of the docks, the sun got down to the golden hour, the low light hour, which is the best time to throw top water. And that's always our main focus when fishing inshore on the panhandle. So we tied on a top water, the matrix mullet in the purple rain color. We had a light chop. We backed off the bank, got in about 4 or 5 foot of water, and started getting some really nice blow-ups with some pretty fine trout in that deeper water over some grass flats. Pretty much your ideal speckled trout, or common down here for Florida. That's a solid 17, 18 incher. Look at just the amount of spots on this fish. I don't know what causes that, but when you have high salinities, I find the fish are real spotty. He crushed that matrix mullet, found a grass flat about 5 foot, and this is what we like to do. Let's listen to him grunting. That's a big male trout. When you got 17-inch males or 18-inch, whatever this is, you know that there's some 6, 7, 8 pound females around. Let me get this one back in the water. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode of DockSide TV as much as we did fishing while we were making it. Using products from matrixshad.com, of course, fishing the beautiful Choctawhatchee Bay. We went from the outside to the inside, catching everything from speckled trout to red snapper. So we have multiple fishing videos on DockSide TV, on fishing the panhandle, and all over the Gulf Coast. So make sure to subscribe to our channel and check out all of our videos from Louisiana all the way out to Destin. Until next time, good fishing.